Namaste friends. If you're watching this video, it's quite likely that you've either read or heard about the spiritual classic, The Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramhansa Yoganada. And if you have, I'm sure you're familiar with the sacred meditation technique called Kriya Yoga. And even if you have not heard about or read this book, if you are someone who's drawn deeply to the path of meditation, if you're drawn to developing devotion and nurturing a personal connection with the divine, I think you will find this video useful. I want to talk to you briefly about this path of Kriya Yoga, the sacred meditation technique that Paramhansa Yogananda brought to the West. And wherever you're watching this, either Facebook or YouTube, I'll be releasing one video every week through this web series called The Path of Kriya Yoga, where each week I will talk about the sacred technique and ways to deepen our own meditation practice, ways to find that place of stillness inside ourselves, and to live always in tune with the divine flow of energy, with greater and greater attunement with God. Now, what is Kriya Yoga? Kriya Yoga is a sacred advanced meditation technique. It was first mentioned by Paramhansa Yogananda in his Autobiography of a Yogi that he published almost 75 years ago. I'm speaking to you right now in 2020, and it was exactly 100 years ago in the year 1920 that Yogananda ji landed on the shores of Boston. He came to the West from his motherland of India as a representative of this great lineage of Kriya Yoga to bring these sacred techniques to the West and to spread it all around the world. Whenever we talk of Kriya, we always talk about this lineage of yogis and gurus from where it comes from. I'll come to that in a bit. But since I mentioned Kriya Yoga is an advanced meditation technique, I want to discuss first the idea of meditation itself. Meditation has become culturally so popular today that everyone is familiar with it, even if they do not regularly practice it. So what is meditation according to the yogic science and the Indian system where this particular technique comes from? Meditation is simply the technique of drawing our energy in, of stilling our mind, calming our breath. It is drawing energy away from our senses into the deep stillness within. That is why we sit still, we close our eyes, and we try to shut down all our senses even outwardly. And by drawing our energy in and by concentrating, we refine our awareness, we expand our consciousness, and we go towards God realization. Realizing God is the ultimate purpose of meditation practice, not just calming the mind. Now, Kriya Yoga is an advanced meditation technique. Not only is it an advanced technique, it is also a very subtle technique. It is a pranayama technique. Now, the word pranayama itself often is referred to or translated as breathing exercises or breath control. It is not entirely wrong, there is a certain truth to it, but pranayama is even subtler than control of breath, because the word prana literally refers to subtle flows of energy in the body. It is the cosmic energy that sustains all of us, and yama simply means control. So in essence, pranayama is the control of energy. It is the control of the life force that is sustaining us. And Kriya Yoga is a pranayama technique in the sense that we consciously try to access and deepen our awareness of the subtle energies and work with them directly. As Yogananda explains in the 26th chapter of Autobiography of a Yogi, Kriya Yoga involves consciously circulating the energies, the subtle energy in our spine up and down. Now, when I say spine, I'm not just referring to the physical spinal cord. There is a subtle astral spine that we are talking about when we discuss meditation. Just like we all have physical bodies, underneath this physical body is a subtle astral body, or the energy body that we are all made of. That is our fundamental reality. And this energy body also has a spine, and that spine consists of 3 subtle nerve channels. In the yogic science, we call them Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. And Kriya Yoga is the technique of circulating energy along these subtle nerve channels in our astral spine. That is why it is a pranayama technique. Now, Kriya Yoga is a technique that is rooted in antiquity. This was not invented or created by Paramhansa Yoganada himself. He was simply a representative of this great lineage of Himalayan yogis. And in fact, this technique is not even specific to the Indian tradition or the Eastern system of yoga. As Yoganandaji mentions in the Autobiography of a Yogi, great masters and realized yogis across all cultures and religions practice something similar to Kriya Yoga, to consciously work with their subtle energies, to be able to spiritually evolve and expand their consciousness. So this technique belongs to all of mankind. In this particular day and age, it was revived by this great deathless Himalayan yogi by name Mahavatar Babaji. Now, so much could be said about this great avatar. Avatar literally means a fully realized being, and Mahavatar means even the greatest of avatars. So Mahavatar Babaji is a yogi who still lives in the Himalayas with a small group of advanced disciples. Yoganandaji shares a lot of stories about him in the Autobiography of a Yogi. You can certainly read it online or find a copy of that book. Now, Babaji finds his disciple Lahiri Mahashaya of Benares, and in the year 1861, he initiates him in the sacred technique of Kriya Yoga. And through this beautiful exchange that Yoganandaji describes in the Autobiography, he commissions Lahiri Mahashaya to take this technique to devotees and sincere seekers everywhere. Not only those who are able to completely renounce all worldly attachments, but anyone who is sincerely seeking. For all sincere seekers, he made this great technique of Kriya Yoga available. And Lahiri Mahashaya had a great disciple by name Swami Shri Yukteswar Giri, who lived outside Kolkata in the small town called Serampur. And Yoganandaji was a disciple of this great yogi Swami Shri Yukteswar Giri. So this is the lineage of Kriya Yoga that I was mentioning to you a few minutes ago. And all of us who practice the Kriya Yoga technique taught by Yoganandaji belong to this particular lineage. Not only do we have these four great gurus, Jesus Christ is also one of the gurus of the Kriya Yoga lineage, because as Yoganandaji explained, it was by the will of Jesus who wanted to resurrect, who wanted to revive a religion that is based on inner communion, that Yogananda himself came to the West. He came as a representative not just of the Himalayan yogis, but even of the great Guru Jesus Christ himself, because it was the will of Jesus that the true teachings of Bible be revealed and revived for this age, and the sacred techniques of inner communion, of direct perception of God, be revealed to all sincere seekers, whether in the East or West. Now, a lot could be said not just about this sacred technique of Kriya Yoga, but this entire spiritual path of Kriya Yoga, because it is much more than just a meditation technique, much more than the practice in the morning or evening. It is an entire spiritual path. It is the spiritual life that we all aspire to lead as Kriya Yogis. It involves developing devotion, nurturing our own personal connection with the divine, with God. It involves serving others through brotherhood, through compassion. It involves, most of all, attuning to this great lineage of gurus, to Yoganandaji and Babaji and all these Himalayan yogis who have brought to us the sacred blessing of these meditation techniques. And my own spiritual teacher and guide, Swami Kriyananda, led an exemplary life of a disciple, of a true disciple to his Guru Paramhansa Yoganada, and he demonstrated for all of us what it means to lead the life of a Kriya Yogi. So in this web series, I hope to share more with you, share my own perspective on Kriya Yoga and leading the life of a Kriya Yogi, and I invite all of you to join me. If you have not learned this technique, if you want to find out more, there is a link in the description, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, where you can fill out a form to receive a free ebook, a PDF on the sacred science of Kriya Yoga. And if you want to learn more, you can certainly reach out to us. There is an email that you're seeing on screen right now. If you want to write to us and if you want to learn more, one of us will be happy to respond to you and guide you and get you started on your own meditation practice. And even if you are somebody who's already practicing Kriya Yoga, I hope you find these videos clarifying and helpful in your own life. And even if you're not looking to learn more techniques or to begin on a new spiritual path, I hope you find these videos inspiring, and I hope you find tools, tips, techniques that you find helpful in your own spiritual practice, in deepening your own inner connection with the divine. So, God bless you all, and I hope to speak to you again next week.